Streaming, talking about allotments. I started an allotment in August, on the 22nd in 2022, and this is now mid to late November. So I've had the allotment for 3 months. I've started a diary, and you can find that on YouTube, and I'm also making these consideration videos talking about how I started the allotment, some things to think about, and this one is about the things I bought when I started the allotment. I had absolutely nothing, not a single spade, shovel, anything when I started this time around, and I had to really consider what I was going to purchase to help me start the allotment and get it to the stage it is now, because I'm on benefits. I don't have occupation, and because of my heart condition and mental health issues, I am given a certain amount of money to achieve a certain living standard by the authorities. I am lucky I'm in a country that actually supports that. But it meant that my amount of money that I had to spend on things was very limited. So I had to consider very carefully what I spent my money on, and had to look for value as well as quality and longevity and ease of use. So these are the items that I picked out. Now, this is the disclaimer. I am going to link all of the items I've bought and the places I bought them from. They are probably available from different locations. I have no affiliateship with any of the suppliers. I am not even going to use affiliate links for you to get there. I am in no way being sponsored by the companies that supply them, and I have absolutely no financial gain whatsoever in either recommending or deterring you from purchasing these items. I just want to do it to help people, I really do. And if it aids my little YouTube channel and makes you watch the diary, that's the real reason. I just love the allotment, and I want everybody to enjoy my allotment and their own the same way. So let's go on with it. They're in no particular order, they're just as I actually decided to make them. Enjoy. If you find this video useful, it's not a professional one, as you see, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel and click notify, and you'll be told when I make more videos and upload more diary. One last thing, these are what I've chosen, but what did you choose? Tell me in the links below. Other people will probably helpfully read them, and they'll also see what else is on the market. It would be great if we could have some sort of conversation about whether your choice is the best one, or maybe somebody else has got an idea as well. Chat to me. Let's get into it. Some more information about the tools I've bought and what are my favourites. I suppose really this one has to be my biggest favourite. Now I'm not really sure what it's called. I mean, it's not a Dutch hoe or anything like that. I've heard it called a grape hoe, and I've seen it called a digging hoe. So you can make up your own mind. But I got this. I think it was less than £20 off Amazon. And it had over 2,500 positive reviews and a few dozen negative ones that said this part keeps slipping down, how do you keep it on, but it's not that difficult, or it cracked in use or whatever. So
you know, it's wood. I'm sorry to say it's wood, and wood isn't without its own natural limitations, but mine has been absolutely superb. It digs, it chops, you know, I mean, all of this bank, all of this bit has all been dug out using this hoe, and I don't think I could have done it using a spade. So let's show you how it actually works.
Quick interjection, you will see me wearing this top, this green top, constantly, even though it's holey and, you know, is falling apart in some places. It's a Cold War piece of clothing. I think it's called the Norge, and I got it from my RAF cadet service. It was given to me by somebody who said, "You'll never give it up," and I won't. It's absolutely fantastic. It really is good for cold weather work, and I believe it used to be handed out to the crew on V-bombers, which used to fly out of nearby air bases, and you know, the V-bombers, the Victor, the Valiant, and the Vulcan, and of course, you know, indispensable up there at whatever tens of thousands of feet they used to be in minus 100 degrees temperatures. Yeah, so forgive the holy jumper, but you'll see me wearing it a lot.
So as you can see, it's windy now. Traffic. Hopefully you can still make out what I'm saying. So my hoe, my digging grape hoe, I love it. It's very versatile, easy control once you had practice. I mean, I don't have a lot of upper body strength because of my heart condition, so I let the hoe do the work. The weight of it, just the lifting it in an arc, doesn't take that much effort, almost like swimming, and good at exercise as well, I should imagine. Yeah, so less than £20, probably my favourite tool in my arsenal. So really pleased with it. Links below from Amazon. There's no money I get from doing any of this, so I just trying to pass on all my best hints and tips, so enjoy. So the next tools I have in my tool chest, in my shed, are my bread and butter. Obviously the spade and fork. Now, when I first heard I was getting an allotment, I was really considering going to town and buying the best quality I could find, you know, something like a Spear and Draxon traditional stainless steel, 26 to 30 pounds, just for a fork, same for a spade. But I realised I was on a budget. I had to actually eke out certainly the starting budget. So I looked around and I found these off Amazon. These were £22. Now that's about $25, $26. I don't even know if these are available in the States or other countries. They're now 25, so they've gone up 10% in the last 2 months, 3 months. That's pretty bad. Well, what can I say about them? They're okay. You know, they're called Easy Find. I'm not sure why. They do stand out when you lay them down. They're hideous, aren't they? What a colour. What about the quality? Well, they're carbon steel, which I assume means that they think they're slightly stronger than basic steel. I really don't know. Certainly using the fork has bent the tines, is that what they're called? As you see there, you see they're not quite in line anymore. This one nearest us is certainly out of line. Looks like that one at the end is as well. So they're not the strongest, but there's no horror stories so far about them breaking. I mean, they're only 3 months old, so they've been adequate. If they do break, I certainly wouldn't buy them again. For a start, they're plastic, and as you know, I hate plastic. But secondly, I would go for a better quality. I probably would go for something like a Spear & Jackson traditional stainless steel. I love the feel of wood when I'm using like garden tools. It's cooler and it seems to wear on the hand a bit less. The spade, well, I sharpened that. There we go. I do sharpen it with a file. I mean, that's pretty blunt at the moment. I don't know if it's showing up on the it's having trouble focusing. It's pretty blunt at the moment, but I do sharpen it when I'm digging into hard ground. It does help. There's not really a lot you can say about them. Cool to the touch. I mean, I'm 5'10", which I understand is the average height for a male in the UK. It's about 180 centimetres ish, just under 178, something like that. And that they're an adequate size, so they might feel a bit too long if you're a shorter stature, and obviously if you're taller, obviously not long enough. So what do you do if you have that issue, if you're a shorter stature and you're not comfortable with tools? Well, American forks and American spades don't have the handle at the top. They're just a very long, 6 foot long pole. So you might find that you have, oh, tractor. Bye, tractor. You might find that you can handle one of those, especially as the longer shaft is actually gives you more leverage when you're doing a heavy soil and things. I'll flash a picture up if I can, just to show you what I mean. Yeah, so 25 quid now, reasonable. Yeah, I'd recommend it if you're on a budget and you're starting off. And on to not one but several tools, because I'm going to class them as one system, and this is the Wolf-Garten, which is German obviously. This is a whole series of interchangeable heads on a single purchased one-off shaft. Now there are several different lengths of shaft you can get, handle. This is the standard one. If I just lay it down there so you can see it. There we go. So that's the standard one. Now if you don't like plastic or the steel, which I don't, there is actually one with a wooden handle, which I will purchase in the future. This is the standard Rake. That's a small hoe, double end-sided, so it works both backwards and forwards. I'll show you in a second. I do prefer those. And that's a hand weeder, so you can either grub up the soil or you can use it as a little hand hoe. As you see, I'm doing this left-handed, which isn't a lot of good, but there we go. And you see, you can just take care of the weeds like that. So what is good about it is that you can flick it off, there we go, and you can put any of the interchangeable heads on any of the handles. I think there are several different sizes. I think this is the small hand one. I think there's an intermediate one which is slightly longer, and then there's the full length ones. There is even a telescopic one as well, so you can actually use that, for instance, if you wanted to cut down the branches on the trees or trim the top of the hedge. There are interchangeable saws, there's interchangeable clippers, secateurs, that type of stuff, which you can use. Now I love this system for several reasons. It is not the cheapest system in the world. However, if you look at what it costs to buy, for instance, an individual rake and then an individual hoe, it doesn't work out much more expensive. And the beauty of it is 25 years guarantee. 25. I'm not going to live for 25 years, so my kids will certainly be using these tools after I've gone. Maybe their grandchildren as well, who knows. Now, I've vowed to spend my money wisely, and I will be adding one tool per month to add onto the system. One tool or one different handle. I've actually ordered the rake as well, which is the grass rake, which is the long spiky one, also used for getting leaves. But there are other things. I mean, I could have gone for the leaf rake, which is a huge plastic head where the two ends unclip and become picker-uppers for leaves. Absolutely fantastic system, but I don't like plastic tools, albeit that this one has plastic handles and things. But 25 years guarantee, you cannot complain. I love the system. It's tough. I mean, the things I was pulling up with the rake, unbelievable. It really is tough. The handle is non-slip and doesn't seem to produce blisters, but I use gloves a lot. I don't often have bare hands out there, down here. There are several different sizes of hoe, 7 different types of hoe. There are all types of grubbers and cleavers and things. Wolf-Garten, I put the links below to where I get the tools from. One I ordered from the rake, the leaf rake, which I hadn't received yet, I ordered from Amazon. It was meant to be delivered sometime between the 2nd and 11th. It hasn't arrived yet. This hand tool, the little hand hoe and things, and the small handle, came as one item from the link below. Unfortunately, the first one apparently got lost in the post, but when I asked about it, as it was longer than the stated delivery date, they sent another one overnight. So it seems maybe there's a supply issue with Wolf-Garten. Maybe it has to come direct from Germany. I mean, the actual rake I ordered, you know, said it was direct from Amazon, but it still said 2nd to the 11th of November. It's now the 12th, hasn't arrived, but it's worth the wait. I really think these tools are some of the best you can get. They're really strong, sturdy, they do the job, and with a 25-year guarantee, you can't really go wrong. So I love them. So here we go. Rake, hoe, press the yellow button, off it slides. Absolutely no bother at all. It says doing it from one hand. There we go. New one slides on. Job done. And as I say, this is a double-sided hoe, so all you have to do, dig it in, put it back at the same time, and there you go. That's the way. This soil is very wet and moist at the moment, probably not the best to hoe in. There we go. And as I say, got to be careful because I've just planted new beans there. There we go, you get the idea. Lovely little hoe. And as I say, it's just one of the different hoes. I prefer the push and pull one. Personal preference. So the next item in my shed, well, it's actually deployed. I have a real big issue. I've shown you before, that telephone or power line, the trees, havens for pigeons. Lots and lots of pigeons. They live around here, they swoop down, they eat everything. I'm pretty certain it's one reason why there's such poor germination on this patch. And obviously all the brassicas and things and the leaves, crops would get absolutely devastated by the pigeons and other birds. So I invested in good netting. This is scaffolding netting. There's actually two nets here. They're 3 meters wide by 10 meters long. They are £16 each, so there's two there, so it's 33 including the change, delivered off Amazon. Again, if you have Amazon Prime, it's free delivery, of course. And then these I got from Premier Netting, I believe it's called. There's 20 for 30 something pound, but there is a, because they're so heavy, there's like a £7 or £8 delivery charge. So it was 40 quid, however you get 10% off for your first order, so it's 37 quid. Now hopefully that will take care of much of my bird protection for a long time. I mean, I've gone up to town on these. I don't really need it this big. I could cut it down. I could perhaps try to space it out so I didn't have the centre ones, for instance. You know, there's so many different things. I might even next year buy another load. I believe this is probably the most effective bird control system that people can use on an allotment. And if you saw an earlier video of mine on my diary series, you'll see that I walked around this entire site looking at all the different ways of that people control their bird control. I mean, people have built huge cages. That's the same system as mine, but that's actually a goal net. Not much good for protecting it against butterflies. That's a smaller one, but again, you know, and there people have got like movable nets that, you know, smaller. I mean, that's a permanent fixed one, that cage, but that's a smaller one that can be moved around. And other people have built like temporary ones. But this is my way. These rods, this thing, probably the best investment I can put into bird protection. Next set of tools, and one that I know my kitty loves, here she is, looking on, is the, well, I actually bought them initially for the secateurs. These are the bypass secateurs from Spear & Jackson. Now these retail for over £20 each. I also needed some loppers, and I was looking around and I saw this set on Argos for £30. Now at the time I'm making this has now increased in price to £35, an astronomical increase, and no reason for it. Excuse me, to be honest, no reason for it to go up £5 in just a short space of time. But there you go. Now I haven't used the shears yet, as you see, but I'm sure as time goes by they're going to be very handy. The secateurs I have thrashed to death. I mean, they have been responsible for cutting the entire weed selection out from not only the allotment, the fence, but also the around the pond as well. That's incredible amounts of brambles and other weeds. And the loppers, there were lots of saplings growing around the pond that shouldn't have been there, and that's dealt with them very effectively. I cannot actually praise the value of this set alone. I mean, as I say, this is over £20 alone. These are over £10. So to get the shears for absolutely nothing, and they're very decent, highly thought of as well. The Royal Hulk, no, it was Gardener's World. Gardener's World did a top 10 Secateurs, and this was very highly praised and up there amongst the top for the value. I actually didn't get a single blister, yet I was using this almost consistently, day in, day out, without any loss of sharpness. Seems to have worked and lasted very well. I mean, obviously the blade in it has now marks on it, and could probably do with a good bit of a shine with wire wool. I do keep it oiled. Incidentally, the loppers I only used ever once in open mode. This is where you twist the handles and pull. Very difficult to do in one hand. Hang on, and pull, and and you can actually get a much longer arm, which will make life very much easier. Physics, fulcrums and stuff like that, and pivots. The only problem is, look at my wagging finger. This became very dirty, and rust started to form within a day or two inside. So if you look, I don't know if you'll pick it up, but I've actually got a sheen of oil on here now. I use, this is disgusting, sorry, I use an old pair of underwear. They are washed, but this is now my oily rag, and I keep just normal bicycle oil. I know some people use like WD-40 and loosening oil just to spray them down after use, but I keep a very light oil on there now, very light, and that will stop it rusting and keep it so that you don't get it locked in position, closed or open. Likewise with the blade and things, a very light wiping of oil will never go amiss. So look after your tools, and I do highly rate these ones. Very good. The Secateurs, there's two ways to hold them. You can hold them like this with the, which is what most people will do. But if you actually move your hand over and put it like this, you don't get that hot thumb from using it like that all the time, because it can actually tell on the inside of your thumb if you're using them like that. Just move your hand round and put your entire hand over it, and you'll find it's actually more comfortable to use for a long, and especially if you're cutting thick things. So don't do that, move it round just a little bit, same process, just as comfortable, but you don't actually get that hot spot on your thumb if you're using it like that. Right, enough said about Secateurs.
There we have it. That's an honest appraisal of the main tools that I bought over the last few months for my new allotment. Hopefully not everybody's going to be in the same situation that I was in. I really came to my new bungalow this year without a single tool, not even a screwdriver, and I had to actually go to local shops and buy very basic things. When I say local, it's about 10-15 miles away on a bus, but you get the idea. Again, I am not getting any type of cashback, affiliate, money back, sponsorship for any of these tools. They're all an honest appraisal of the things I bought, and I'm hoping that we can discuss whether you agree, maybe there's something that you actually preferred when you started out or have recently purchased. Comment below. If you found this useful, please subscribe to the channel, click notify, and you'll be let to know of more videos that have been uploaded. Watch my diary and keep chatting to me and help me as I continue my journey along my Grow Your Own adventure. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye bye.